This video is going to be about sex and why women are more sexually selective than men and why we find most men way too repulsive to have sex with. And when I say repulsive, I don't mean that you're repulsive to all women. It's just that women are sexually attracted to very few men, and for each woman that's different. It's not an absolute. So let's go into a few things here. First of all, what do I mean? Do I have proof that women are more sexually selective? Well, let's look at a basic study, some studies that were done. Have you seen these videos or heard about studies? I think mostly done on college campuses where they have like 20 women or 50 women, whatever the number is, go up to a man and say, "Would you come home with me?" And I think almost every man says yes, if not all of them. And then you could have the same number of men go up to a woman and say, "Will you go home with me?" And the number of women saying yes is 0. But I think when they ask the question, "Would you go on a date with me?" fewer of the men say yes and more of the women say yes. But when it comes to just a hookup, most of the women are going to say no. And I think even on colleges, a lot of the hookups happen because the women have been drinking. So it seems kind of obvious, but you can think of it for yourself. If I go up to 50 men and ask them if they would come home with me to fuck me, depending on their whether they would get caught by their wife or whether they want to be monogamous, say that they're all single and they're straight. I bet that out of the 50 men, 40 would say yes. But if a man goes up to a woman, the woman's going to say no, even if he's good looking. Now, why is that? Women like sex too, don't we? I think it has to do with the fact that a man is stronger physically. He sees a woman as a beauty object, and he feels safe. He thinks that she's beautiful, and he pretty much is assured of having a good time. His biology knows he can't get pregnant. He knows he's going to have an orgasm, and she's beautiful and she's soft. Whereas for a woman, a man can be threatening. Like, do I feel safe with you? Do I trust you? You know, I could get pregnant. I could get an STD from you. You could hurt me. Probably not going to enjoy it as much. And then a number of other factors. For women, it's the context. They're the breaks. We have more breaks that tell us why we shouldn't do it. Okay, that's one study. I have to turn the air conditioner on just a moment. It is hot in here. It's too hot in here. Okay, so the other example we have is from sex workers. Men pay for sex, and they'll pay a lot of money, and there are many sex workers. Look at OnlyFans. Look at prostitution. Now, when I have said to men will pay for sex, and women don't, the answer is always because women don't have to. Well, why don't they have to? Exactly because they're more selective. Okay, so I've given you these two examples, the study and the sex workers, that men will pay for sex and men are more down to fuck, DTF, because their bodies are different. They have testosterone, their physiology is different, their brain is different, they're physically stronger for whatever reasons. You can figure that out. So now let's get to the repulsive part. I'm going to tell you how I feel as a woman, and what I've observed is that a man will generally, when it comes to sex, say, "Why not?" And I'm thinking back of this gentleman that I met when I was out for my birthday one night, and I agreed to go back to his hotel room with him, and I told him, "I'm not going to have sex with you." And he insisted that we would just talk and we could just spend the night, and he had this oceanfront hotel in Carlsbad, and I said, "I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to lead you on. There will be no sex." And he agreed to it. Then all night long he badgered me. And I kept saying, but I don't, why would I have sex with you? And he said, because it would feel good. And I still remember that, and that to me is the most live example of a man saying, why not? Why not? It's going to feel good. And to him it would, but this guy was in his 50s, and he'd been married before, and he was like some well-known, or not well-known, but professional guy. Should have known better, but he didn't. He kept saying, why not? It would feel good. And a woman says, why you? Why now? And he was just badgering me. I wasn't in the mood for sex. His badgering turned me off. And so a woman is always saying, why you and why now? Now, when I say that I find the majority of men repulsive, not repulsive to talk to, not repulsive to be friends with, and not repulsive in absolute terms, but repulsive sexually, because why you, not you? And for the majority of women, they are only going to want to have sex with the guy that they have feelings for, they're in a relationship with, because women need to feel trust and safety and emotional connection and emotional bonding. I need to feel respected. I need to feel appreciated. I need to make sure the man is safe, that he's going to be tender with me, that he's going to be affectionate with me. And if he's not paying me, he better give me a fucking damn good relationship. Because to me as a woman, if I just have sex and the guy leaves and he's giving me no money or gifts, let's say gifts, I feel used. I don't enjoy it. Now you might say, why? I don't fucking know why, but I'm like every other woman except the women that were sexually abused or that had absent fathers who reenact their trauma. But I don't want to talk about those women. I want to talk about healthy women. This is how you know a woman is healthy. She has, the way you can tell if a woman has a healthy sexuality is that she enjoys sex in a relationship. Sensual, tender, affectionate sex. And she doesn't want it with just anyone, and most men are too repulsive. This is a test. Do I want this man to even be close enough to give me a hug? And mostly I don't. It's not because the guy is ugly. You could give me a good-looking guy. You know, I could see some... I was leaving a comment the other day on a video that a lot of married men are hot. I can see them. They're good-looking. They're attractive. Would I fuck them? No. Because there are... This is why I wouldn't even be... This is why I would be repulsed by these guys. First of all, they're married. I'm not sexually attracted to married men. Second of all, they have shown zero interest in me, and I'm not interested in men. They only become sexually attractive if they're interested in me, and they're single, and they have certain qualities like they're relational, they're masculine. Then all my brakes turn off. See, for women, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, how can I get this woman turned on more? What you want to look at with women is what are her brakes? What are her brakes? Women have a lot of brakes. You guys, see, it's not that we're more picky. It's that you men are lacking all the brakes. You guys don't have enough brakes. Choosiness, selection signals, and we have a lot of brakes in our brain. Look at arousal non-concordance, accelerators and brakes for women. I think Emily Nagoski wrote about that. So a woman has things that say yes and a lot of things that say no. And we evolved that way because we can get pregnant. Don't forget, birth control is very new, and we're more vulnerable sexually, and we take longer to get aroused. And I have seen many couples where I think the guy is super ugly and the woman is in love with him. So when I say most guys are repulsive, it's not an absolute fact. Repulsive to me, but attractive to her. And that's what you want. You want a woman who's absolutely gaga over you. Doesn't matter what the other women say or think. She's going to be in love with you, and that's going to turn her on, and that's what matters. I have also, there was a brief few months during the end of my marriage where we were going to swinger events, and I was trying to have sex with other couples because my ex-husband was giving me, he was very neglectful of me in bed, and I wanted to experience sex with couples that were actually cared about each other's pleasure. Isn't that sad? Actually, that's why. It wasn't because I was horny. It was because I was longing for some affection, and I thought, well, these couples are going to be affectionate together. I want to be a part of that. And I was with 3 different couples where the women said, oh my God, I'm so in love with my husband. And the guy was not attractive to me at all, but I was in there for the couple experience. And oh my God, he gives me so many orgasms. He's so amazing in bed. He sucked in bed. So the point is, for women, it's very individualistic. If she is attracted to you, and you could be a 6 out of 10 to me, she's going to be turned on by you, and her sexual experience will be better. Whereas for the guy, I think the only difference for men in how they are sexually is if they care about a woman, they'll put in more effort. But I do not think their orgasms are any better or their pleasure is any better. I think that they are more attentive. But, you know, I don't know everything, again. There are some men that are more on the level of absolute, where I'm going to say it's not relative to each woman, that he is attractive to a lot of women. There are men that I find very attractive, that I think a lot of women find attractive. That Imi Oduku, he's a freaking asshole. I would never go out with him. I would never fuck him. I would never marry him, even if he was interested in me, which he wouldn't be. But he's hotter than fuck. He's very strong. There's some men that emanate this raw animal masculinity coupled with sensuality in the face because they're relational. And some of these guys are cheaters, like this Imi Oduko. He looks like raw physical energy plus tenderness in his face that I read. That makes him very attractive. Same with Dave Beckham. Now, Dave Beckham has done a lot of stuff. I think he's had like hair implants and all that. I'm fine with bald guys. I think they're kind of hot. But Dave Beckham does the tattoos and the raw animal physical strength coupled with the sensuality in his face makes him very attractive. So I think there's a small percentage of men in the world, maybe 0.25%, that are attractive to many, many women because of their sheer their physical energy and their sensuality. I'm not saying all athletes are attractive. They're not. A lot of them look like assholes to me. There are also other men that women swoon over because, not because they're attractive, but because, you know, they're like singers. They like the guy's music and they idolize him and put him on a pedestal. You know, think about Mick Jagger. He's the ugliest guy ever, and women swoon over him. But in general, for a woman, our arousal and whether, you know, is linked to how we feel about you. How we feel about you is different for every woman. I like professional men who dress well. I knew a lady once who couldn't stand guys like that. She liked the guy in the pickup truck. Other women, I had another friend who preferred guys with a goatee. Or, you know, I knew another lady who's like, I only like big guys. I like big guys because I'm big. I like a guy who can hold me. So there is no absolute, guys. Don't let anyone in the manosphere tell you that all women like a certain type. It's a lie and it's bullshit. Turn that off and listen to Eckhart Tolle instead, because they're feeding you negative thoughts. Now, I have had clients that were really unattractive, And they show me pictures of their wives or told me about their wives. And some of these women are in love with these guys. I find them unattractive, but to her, he's attractive. And they like having sex with their husbands, according to what the men say, and I believe it. Why? Because the guy, how he treats her. So what helps now, if you're just a regular guy, this is what helps build attraction for a woman. You gotta don't do anything, don't be manipulative, like pretend you want to be a friend when you want to ask us out. Own the fact that you want to ask us out. And then I need to feel like you're interested in me and that you care about me as a person. If you're just trying to get in my pants, I'm out of here. I like men who show their interest in me the same way that men like when a woman shows interest in them. But for me as a woman, it gets kind of my heart opened. If you're consistent, if you actually are interested in me for dating, that's how a woman starts to get interested in you. Because you ask her out, you're consistent, you treat her like a friend, you let her know that she's beautiful, you know, you have some masculine energy and you have your life in order. So it really helps if you, and for me, what helps, you know, I could, all these guys that are unattractive to me right now, like if I could look outside in my neighborhood and I could pick 10 guys, you know, they're all unattractive right now. But if they came up to me and started talking to me, or they were funny, or they were interested in me and they asked me out, I could become attracted to all of them. I could become attracted to all of them. That's why you often hear women say, I didn't like him at first, but he grew on me. Or I was working with this guy, I didn't like him at first, and then I started liking him, because you become better looking as we start appreciating your personality. But you're not a beauty object. And even if you are, even if Dave Beckham came up to me or Emi Udoka and wanted to fuck me, I would have to say no. If they bought me a car or something, maybe, but now I know who their wives are, so no, I wouldn't. If I met them at a bar and they wanted to hook up with me, I would say no, because what? I don't want to hook up. I don't. There's nothing for me in hooking up. I feel like I just got used. Now, this is a typical woman talking. Number two, they're married. My brakes are already screeching. You're married, screeching brakes. I know I'm not gonna enjoy it when you blow me off after. Screeching brakes. So no, I don't even want you near me. I don't care that you're freaking hot. So you're repulsive. Now, they're not as repulsive because I'm like, oh, this guy's actually good looking, but I still wouldn't want him touching me. If he tried to if I was at a bar or even at the mechanic shop, I've been at mechanic shops a couple times this week. Actually, my one mechanic I went to for advice on my daughter's car, and his sister wrote this book, and he's in the introduction, Lael. He has a good mechanic shop. He's a very honest mechanic in Oceanside. And then today I had to go to the collision center because this truck backed into me while I was parked, and the company's paying for it, but I was at the collision center. But I'm just saying, if I'm sitting in line at the collision center or the mechanic shop and some guy just kind of touches me, no matter how good looking he is, I back away. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be touched by you because I don't know you. You don't have that right. I wouldn't get mad if I knew him. Some guys are kind of touchy, and I just back away like, no, it's not okay to touch me like that. We're not dating. I'm not interested in you in that way. But I can rest assured, if I put my hand on a guy like that, he wouldn't push me away. I hope I explained this well, but guys don't get it at all. I'm trying to think about how I could explain this to guys. Okay, this is how I can explain it to guys. Let's use food as an example. Food is something, everybody likes food, but we all like different food. Let's say that you hate raw fish. You got to pick something you don't like. Let's pick dogs. Chinese people eat dogs. Americans don't eat dogs. So let's pick dogs as an example. You go into a restaurant and they bring you a dog. It's whole, uncooked. However the Chinese people eat it, or pig's feet. They eat pig's feet. So let's use pig feet or dog. You're going into a restaurant and they bring you pig's feet or dog on a plate. Now you're a man, you're going to be repulsed, I'm guessing. I'm just trying to give you something, don't argue with me. I'm trying to give you something so you can relate to how we feel as women. You're going there with your Chinese friend. Your Chinese friend loves the pig's feet, loves the dog. She grew up eating that. She loves it. But you look at it and you are repulsed. You're hungry, you know, just like a woman could be horny, but you don't want to eat that. You'd rather eat nothing. That's the best example I can give you. So the next time a guy goes, why don't you want to have sex? I would be like, eat some pig's feet first and eat some worms. Then do you want that? You know, or are you just going to do it for the dare? That's what it's like. You know, and the reason men don't know this is because they watch porn and they get a completely false idea because you see sexually traumatized women reenacting their abuse. I made a video yesterday about the lady who died of her addiction at 33. I've been watching her videos and I cannot believe the torture. I went through her Twitter today and all of her clips. I cannot believe the crap she was doing, stuffing big dildos in her ass and showing the inside of her intestines, and she thinks that's hot. But she's this beautiful, skinny young woman, very sweet in her pose. She didn't look angry. She was working on her PhD. I read that her mom was a sex worker and her dad's mother, and her mom died young. She was a member of the Hells Angels, I believe. She had to be sexually abused. I have coached people who were sexually abused. When you're sexually abused, you do weird stuff like letting guys fuck you in the ass and being hypersexualized and becoming a commercial porn actress and engaging in extreme acts of BDSM. In fact, I was talking to someone a while back and he was involved in the BDSM scene, and there was a woman who would like to be penetrated with large objects pretty forcefully, I think vaginally, I'm not sure. And then it ended up that she had trouble sleeping at night. Her bladder, she had to get up every hour to pee. She ruined her bladder from all that forceful, you know, she had internal damage to her organs, her bladder. And it can be worse than that. Now, the man said she consented, so I thought she liked it, but now I know that she wasn't capable of consenting. So when you hear these porn actresses doing all that stuff, or women who find men on Tinder and ask them right over, they're consenting, but they're traumatized and they're reenacting pain, and they're not capable of real consent because they're dissociated from their body. In fact, that lady I'm talking about, she was covered in tattoos. She even had one on her hand, which is the most sensitive place. And she was going to go get one on her other hand because she liked the pain of the needle. See, when people are in a lot of pain, the only way that they can escape their internal pain is when they have physical pain that overpowers their emotional pain. So they need a lot of physical pain. That's why you have people get into the cutting stuff as well. And these women that have tattoos all over their bodies. So, yeah. Some of the places don't hurt that much, but some of the places hurt a lot. She was completely covered, including her hand. Or you've seen people who have tattoos on their face. But anyway, the point being that a healthy woman like me, and I consider myself sexually healthy, but I don't know everything. I could have blind spots. I'm open to having blind spots, but I don't want just any man to touch me. I don't let men come over here after dark. I don't go out carousing with men. I'm not you know how women are. If you don't know how women are, it's because you've watched too much porn. And that porn is very dangerous, because if you want to know what women like, it's best to be with healthy women, not sexually traumatized women, and not watching porn. It gives you a completely wrong idea. Talk to women who are natural, no makeup, a little bit heavy set, married. Talk to those women. Those are the normal, healthy women. They don't have to be heavy set, but often some of these married women are. The married women I know, they don't wear any makeup unless they're going out. They're very natural. Their husbands love them. They get a little belly on them. Their husbands still love them. You know, that's just your normal, everyday, healthy woman. I wanted to make this video short, but it turned out to be super long. Another way to look at, guys, is if you want to know why women are selective, is how selective would you be if every sexual act with a woman started by you taking a dildo in your ass? Wouldn't you want to, you would naturally maybe be more selective in the woman about how gentle she's going to be and how much you can trust her. What if every sexual act you had with a woman started, say there was a law, and every time you had sex with a woman, it starts by you being kind of like pinned down on a table, having a dildo shoved in your ass. And some women may start slowly, some may just ram it in. You're not going to have an orgasm, and you may enjoy it if she's gentle, but if she's rough, you won't. You might feel embarrassed. It could tear out your intestines, which is like getting pregnant. You wouldn't be so down to fuck either. The reason you guys are so down to fuck is because you don't have empathy for the woman and how she feels and what she wants. And that's why guys have that question. That's what I think. But the best guys in bed are the guys that are not so anxious and trying to ram it in there, because it's a lot more arousing. I get the most aroused when I'm with a guy who's like super into me, super hard, very passionate, and he's just like very chill, like he's got restraint. That gives me a chance to relax and open. So that's another thing that makes men repulsive, is like they see me as a sex object. You know, like, see me as a person. You know, I need to open up to you. I need to open. And I feel my body open, my heart open, my vagina open. I have to open. And the only way I can open is I feel safe, I feel appreciated, I trust you, and you're giving me something of value. I don't even think I explained this well at all. You want to open a woman up like a flower opens to the sun. Have you seen these flowers that close at night and then they open to the sun? And they open to the sun slowly, and at night they close. But you can't force it open. You can't force it open. You can't force it open because you'll break it. And that's what men try to do when they in the commercial porn. They're forcing it. It's not real. A woman opens to a man, to a man's love. This is a good ending. A woman opens to a man's love like a flower opens to the sun. The warmth of the sun, the warmth of his love, his safety and his protection. Now we open, and now you're going to have really good sex, because this woman has opened her heart and her body, and she's engorged and she's wet, but only for you, because of the emotional bond you have built with her. And those are the women that are not going to cheat on you, because they're actually embodied and they're selective and they're emotionally healthy. Those are the women you want. The women that say, all men are repulsive, I only want my husband. That's the natural state of a healthy woman. She's opened to the bonding and the affection and the connection that this man has given her. That's how I feel in my body. Ladies, please, chime in if you feel this way too. Let's help these men out because they want to learn. And thank you for watching my video.